Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. We're going to have a bit of a quick market update for Saturday evening, I guess it is in the United States. It's Sunday here morning and down under. So a bit of a weekend update here. So we're going to check out Bitcoin, look at the health of that. Obviously, a massive rally this week, and it's largely holding up. So we're looking pretty good, I think. Obviously, the altcoins come down a little bit as that pump happens. But we could see it pick up as we enter the beginning of the week, maybe Sunday US time. Sunday US time is always a little bit, often we get market makers and things like that. We certainly saw one at the top of the move. I watched it in real time happen on the charts, watching a number of altcoins, and bam, down they went. And they have rebounded quite nicely. Bitcoin holding pretty nicely at 77,000. Ethereum below the 2,500 mark that we wanted. So just below that weekly moving average. So we'll get to that in a minute, but still holding pretty strong over 2,400. So some cool stuff happening there. Some of the altcoin charts, particularly the revenue businesses in crypto, have really re-rated over the last week. Really nice to see that. So some mad gains for a lot of people. So that's pretty much where we're going to get to on there. I'm also going to look at, I guess we're going to look at we won't look at the ETFs or the digital asset treasury today. We'll get updates for the week. So that will be in about 2 days. We'll cover that. But we will look at some tokenization stuff, obviously as a key catalyst moving forward for Ethereum in particular. So we'll do that too. Let me just find the update I was going to get to. Actually, we're going to look at Ethereum in a bit more deep dive as well. I think that's kind of where we'll go with that. We'll have a quick look at the power law, see where we're sitting against that versus Bitcoin. And then we're going to get into Pulsechain updates, right? So that should be a bit of fun. But what a week for ETFs this week. Really good capital coming in. Very exciting institutional adoption in play. Looking really good. So far, everything's holding up pretty well. You're always going to get these pullbacks. Remember, the RSIs were pretty hot, running pretty hot. We always have forward-looking targets that are even hotter RSIs, but typically we were already up in that range. And that was one of the caveats that we had, that we might get pullback, especially after that huge move. And we did see a big market maker, or at least a profit taker yesterday, do that after the big rally. So we'll get into all that. But we're going to cover Pulsechain too. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in. Smash the follow on X and hit the X Live repost the show. It helps a lot there. And let's get into it. There's not going to be a particularly long show, I don't think. We'll see how we go. We're just going to cover the markets and get to the end of it in a natural way. So let's go. We're going to jump into the crypto majors. We're here on CoinGecko. We can see at the moment that after really great percentage increases over last week, we're down 2.4% on the 24-hour overall on crypto. So it's a cooling off there with those hot RSIs. 2.68 trillion at the moment on market cap. Looking at Bitcoin on average, sitting at 77,319 across the exchanges, down 1.7% over the last 24 hours. But look at that, up 22.2% for the week. What an absolute tier, and largely holding up. Remember, we peaked out I guess I'll talk about that when we get to the Bitcoin chart. We're out holding up very well indeed. Ethereum at the moment, 2,433, down 3.9% on the 24-hour, but up a whopping 28.8%. Amazing stuff there. XRP at number 4, up 1.1%, up 45.8% for the week. Obviously in the win-win situation, in other words, Clarity Act on the 15th. And then if that doesn't go through, a lot of pressure even more pressure on that to go through now. But if that doesn't go through, SEC and the CFTC willing to stand in. And we've already seen the SEC come in already with some rulemaking there. Now, the one area that they may be weak on is registration of companies, but they should be able to do a lot of the other type of regulations that we may see in the Clarity Act. Certainly not all of it, but certainly a big part of it. So we'll see how far that goes, but certainly a more regulated market there in the US that bodes very well. Of course, Ripple doing the banking transfers, very bullish there, up 45.8%. Remember, it was kind of hardest on the Clarity Act deferment to the 15th of September. BNB there up 0.7% today, sitting over $700. So really cool to see that. 14% for the week. So most modest there over the week out of the top 5. Moving to Solana at number 7, down 0.3%, but up 24% for the week. It's $96.55. Tron up 0.3%, 3.9% for the week at 34.5 cents at number 8. Hyperliquid there at number 9, up 4.7%, $80.50. That is, a lot of these markets, if you're watching them real time last night, when that I guess that whale wick starts falling down and everyone piles on top, boy, the chart was just going down real fast. It was pretty crazy stuff. Welcome to crypto. But Hyperliquid is still up 40% and it's got back over $80. So that's pretty impressive from Hyperliquid there. Dogecoin at number 10, down 2.3%, I should say, over 24 hours, but up 31.7% at 9.4 cents. So you can see how the top 10, let's say the best performer was Ripple or XRP in particular, followed by Hyperliquid at 40%. What was next? I guess Dogecoin 31%, then ETH at 28%, then Solana 24%, and then I guess Bitcoin at 22% and BNB at 14%. Those are kind of the rankings there. Looking at the top 5 and the top 100, well, Trump token obviously on the move. I guess people rewarding the White House moves, but it's up 26.8% off a low base. Remember how high Trump was? It's $2.42 right now. That's after the 70% pump for the week. Pump tires, or pump fund, I should say, up 24%. One of the big revenue earners, high risk, high return play, cyclical with the memology, but certainly up 24%, getting nice there, sitting at half a penny right now. Polyxmatic or Poly is up 13%. ENA is up 11.7%, and Zcash Privacy there at 9%. So those are top 5 at the moment. Top 5 over the last week, and this is where the big money's been made off this big 22% on move on a Bitcoin. Well, look at the big moves. So in the top 100, we got Athena there up 88% for the week. Pump Fund up 81%. Official Trump up 70%. Zcash up almost 65%. And Pepe Mincoin there at 54%. Those are the top 5 right now. Pretty impressive. So congratulations for your holding all that. Top 1,000, we got Tutorial up 50%, Octra up 36%, and DEP, Debt Relief Bot is up 35%. That might be interesting. Trending overall, we've got Pipe Dog down 12%, Pump Fund up 24%, and Zcash up 9%. That's trending on CoinGecko. So it's kind of our market majors. We've got Hexavator in the gang. Hey, gang. Great to see you, Hexavator. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a good weekend. And we've got Sean O'Malley as well. Good morning. Up only, kids. Up only indeed. That is true. That's true. All right. So that is the crypto overview there. Let's zoom into Bitcoin like we always do. We go through the markets. No drama channel, just into the markets and the data. We like that. And look at this chart. This is the weekly chart here on Bitcoin. Look at that green candle there. This is a different kind of candle, right? Because we got our bear market, right? We got that orange resistance there. And look what the green candle shows, right? We haven't closed it yet, but it's pretty close to closing. Look at that. I guess we've still got a day to go, but still looking good at the moment. And the price here on Coinbase is even higher than that market average, 77,397. And look at the top of that mark. The top of that move so far was 79,500. Remember that happened just after my live stream? Was it 2 days ago now? So yeah, that was crazy. And look at that. And you guys see what this orange line up here, this is key, right? That level there was the third lower high in the bear market there way back in the 11th of May. And we were at about 82,200. And this line is kind of sitting there. That line is our target. And of course, we've got the 50-week moving average, 50-week moving average in yellow converging on that same line, right? Which is essentially around 81,800, let's say. So we've got about a $400 range just to hit in there. And so hyper bullish, right? And so we've got first clue, we've beaten this downtrend. So we've got a breakout here. It looks like it will close to the upside. We've got this SEC vote coming on, the Clarity Act vote on the 15th September. And we've also seems like we've got a no-lose situation for the most part. Obviously, Clarity Act is much stronger than regulatory rulemaking within the existing laws, but we're still going to win either way with regulatory rulemaking in place. And that's what the CFTC CEO has signaled, right? So, and we've got the SEC also in that zone. So we could see a lot of rulemaking there, because otherwise it's going to be deferred probably much further down the track, maybe even to next year if we don't get it through on September the 15th, right? So a lot more pressure from the White House this week, so very bullish there. Essentially, I think we're in a win-win situation there. I don't see how we can lose now, and that's going to be enough for the market to move forward, right? And then if you add in all the major mega themes that are happening in crypto already with institutions and finance adoption on the chain, it's just game on after that, right? So this is very bullish. Now the question is, are we going to see something like this on the bull market rally, where we see these weeks in a row. Are we going to see, look at that, 3 weeks in a row, green, essentially, 4 or 5 weeks here, green, all these green weeks on the way up. Now that we've broken out of this resistance here, are we going to see another nice green week here and pump past that 82,200? So we've got, I guess, 80,000, 82,200 ahead of us. Really, the 82, that beats out this downtrend once and for all and signals an uptrend. And we've got all these tailwinds with a win-win situation for Clarity Act. And so are we going to just see another green week next week in here and so on, leading into the Clarity Act there and beating out that bear market, and of course defeating the October crowd about the 4-year cycle, right? So we're ticking in there. That's 15th September. October's just past that. So, we could potentially get nice green weekly candles here. Obviously, we have pullbacks on the way, just like we had overnight with this, slight pullback on the majors, and of course, a more significant pullback on some of the altcoins. And obviously, Pulsechain pulled back a little bit there too from last night. The RSIs were running hot though, and I guess the market maker decided to take that down a little bit, take it down a little peg after that massive game. But the trend is your friend, and we've broken this bear downtrend at the moment. We've just got to, at least we've broken down the resistance, and now we've just got to beat out that lower high here, which is 82,200. That could very well happen. Now, on Monday, you guys know, US time, which will be Tuesday, down under time, we've got the weekly updates from the digital asset treasuries. We'll have more by the time we get to the close of the day there on Tuesday as well. We'll have the ETFs, and we'll be watching the flows coming in through there, as well as the whales and everything else going on. So pretty exciting. Now, next week, remember, Thursday, Friday, we've got the CPI inflation data, and I think the GDP number coming as well. So that's going to bring, go into the Fed side of things. We've already seen the Treasury Secretary intervene in the markets, intervene on the Japanese yen trade. Obviously, a strong partner of the United States, but also propping up the yen there. And also, we've just seen recently the long-term interest rates. Remember, Secretary Scott was talking about that's going to self-regulate with the high interest there, but they decided to intervene, and that's going to take place a bit later in the year with doubling the purchases, right? So we've got all this stuff happening, and that's generally seen as positive for the markets, right? So very cool. We also saw Strive get back to 2 days of issuing SATA preferred stocks, and that is raising money from the debt market. We saw about 430 Bitcoin at least get purchased through that, and next week it could continue on, guys. And then we might also see Michael Saylor's strategy get back to $100 next week. It's still got a bit of work to do, but it's getting there. And maybe it takes, I don't know, a couple of days, maybe it's next week even. And that once it gets back to issuing more stretch at $100, they can then go buy potentially tens of thousands of Bitcoin. So you can kind of see huge tailwinds and huge positive flywheel stuff on top of this big macro picture that we're talking about right now. And then the ETFs keep buying, and it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be pretty good. All right, so that's kind of cool. We've got this big convergence here. So that's the key mark there, 82,200 for me. And we're going to beat out this low here. So keep a look out for that this week. Are we going to get big candles leading into the Clarity Act vote, just like we've seen back here on these on the bull market rallies? We see these big candles here. We're going to see that happen moving in, because it looks like we're in a win-win situation here. Now, wins aren't of equal importance. The Clarity Act is the big one. And I would say the rulemaking is a moderate one, right? That's kind of thing, because it can be overturned a couple of years if the Democrats get back power. But the market will be huge by then, right? Huge by then under that rulemaking and innovation in the United States. So it'd be very, very controversial to unpick that and very damaging. But it's the Democrats, as I always say. We've got free band in here in the house. Thanks, Soups. Hey, good to see a free X band. And we've got Christos as well. Good morning, Soup Man. Good morning to you, Christos. Hope you're having a good weekend as well. All right, so that is the markets there. I think we're looking very good, guys. We're at $77,300, looking pretty good. Tomorrow is Sunday. It's a dicey day on Sunday, so I don't, it's not really. We'll see what happens there, but so far so good, and looks inevitable, right? Looks inevitable. We still have market makers that can still do things, especially after big profit taking, so people can take big profits. But this looks inevitable now that the gravy train is on the roll here with rulemaking come to the United States in one form or another. So bullish there. And then remember, also after the 15th September, we might have the 4-year cycle, but we've got the DTCC coming in, bringing in tokenization. And of course, they are the waterworks company for settlements in the TradeFi. They're coming to the blockchain, particularly Ethereum, Solana, and other chains, Canton, etc. And they've got 114 trillion under management, and also settled last year 4.6 quadrillion. I say it again, quadrillion in settlement. So just bring a fraction of it over. They got their clients can't wait. That's what they said. They said clients can't wait. They all want to flock in to tokenize. So from October onwards, we've got a boom, right? It's going to boom. Now, it's not necessarily going to happen straight away, but it's going to happen pretty quickly, as they go what they call into production, right? In production. And we saw their trials, hyper successful trials in July. So that's a big play. And then we've got the midterms in November. You kind of see the rollout there. And of course, we are moving more dovish generally on the interest rates. And we can see that if we get good CPE numbers this Thursday, that feeds into that, and then we've got one more month of inflation data before the Fed meeting, right? So that's looking good so far. I think everything's looking pretty good. Now, all we've got at the moment headwinds is the oil price. Obviously, we've got the Iranians still trying to be tough, and they're going to be, they're going to do what they're going to do, right? We know what they're like, and so forth. Remember, they're not just an adversary state; they are a terrorist state, right? So they're a terrorist state. Their whole goal is to bring in the apocalyptic end of the world. And right, so just remember that they're not your friends. They're not your friends. So they're not normal. It's not like dealing with Russia, even China for that matter, as bad as some of those things might be on certain grounds. Now, we've also got problems in the West, right? It's not like World War II, where we've got maybe some sort of moral superiority. We have a lot of problems in the West now with progressive globalist Marxist leaders, right? They are all pretty evil too, trying to destroy the West. So we're not just sitting. It's not just the good guys, the bad guys anymore. We've got a lot of good people in the West, but we've got a lot of bad leaders, and so that's got to play out. Hopefully, we'll get the populist movements getting back the governments and putting societies back to normal, right, rather than in a psych ward, right, which is what they're trying to usher in, right. It's amazing to me how easy it is to indoctrinate people. That's the weirdest thing I've noticed. This is so easy. Last 3 decades, liberals and progressives have managed to indoctrinate people quite easy, and it's pretty crazy stuff. All right, so we got $77,300 here on the mark, looking good in the candle here. You can see it's self-evident. We're looking good there. Let's go to the daily as well. Daily at the moment. Look at we're well above the 4-year average too is the other thing there, right? So the orange line, trend line 4-year. Let's go to the daily at the moment. The daily at the moment is looking pretty good too. So we've got the moving averages here for the 50 daily at 65,000. So we're well above that. We've got you can't see it here, but it's right here. Let me get rid of the overlays. You can see the 200 daily moving average at 69,000. And, we're creeping up for a golden cross. Still a lot of work to do, $4,000 almost, 3,900 to get a golden cross. But certainly that's a bullish thing to the upside too. Now, looking on the daily, look, we had that little pullback there. Look at that pullback. But then we got started off a brand new green candle here. And let's see whether we're going to do, some maybe chug along a little bit, then boom. Maybe chug along for a couple of days and then boom again. Let's see what happens here. We're either going to break up or down, but certainly looking very positive that we might get a couple of green weeks before that clarity vote. We'll see. It's not a given. We've obviously got RSI. I haven't got that on here, but RSI to take into account as well, which I probably will start to put back on the overlay here. But so far so good. All right, so that is the daily on Bitcoin. Let's go quickly to the 4-hour. Looking at the traders view, traders view here, we've got a golden cross here on the traders view, so to speak, and we're tracking on quite nicely here. We've got 5 periods at the moment, and that'd be really interesting to see where that goes as well. So keep a look out for the 4-hour 77, 70, looking really good so far. All right, I don't know how far we can go back. Let's go back to the daily. I might go back to daily. Wasn't going to plan on doing this. Actually, it might take too long. All that. I guess not. Looking at some of these other pumps we had, right? So we had these pumps here, right? And this is hitting in the bull market last year. It was April 25. And we sort of chugged up to the upside, and then bam, up we go again. So that's kind of cool looking stuff, right? Here we are pumped up here, chugged around a bit, had another little rally, chugged around down a bit, and then rallied up. So kind of cool stuff. That was a kind of a golden cross on the daily. Not bad. So yeah, at the moment we kind of look like this, up and then chug along a little bit. So there we go. All right, so that is Bitcoin. Let's jump over to the power law, looking at the forward points. And so yeah, we got Monday. We got Monday, Tuesday. We got the weekly updates for the digital asset treasuries. Where particularly Strive is going to be interesting because they're already back at $100 and already buying, at least maybe 430 Bitcoin at least so far. So kind of cool. Turning on there at the market buying. Now, looking at this is the power law. This is kind of our probably one of the best, if not the best, models for long-term Bitcoin price. We're going to zoom in on the current chart there. We've bounced off the support line, and we're now up, powering up there. So what's the chart here? So 23rd, 22nd, I guess let's do 24th. So 63,000 is the red floor, the support line there. We've got the 77,300 at the moment at the price. So what are we, $14,300 above the floor now? How world has changed, right? Our world has changed. We're only like $1,000 above it now. We're like 14,300. The midpoint, the green line, there's 177,000. The purple line is 618,000. The end of the year price target is 200,000 for Bitcoin. And then for June next year, it is, let's see what June next year, let's say the end of June, let's say, is 233,000 with a support price of 82,900. So that's interesting enough. That's just above where we want to get to, right, to take out that third lower high in the bear market. And then we've got the end of 28 is essentially around 273K for the midpoint, 97K for the floor, and then almost 900,000, 897,000 for the top there. And then finally, 2 years at looking at around about 2 years, not quite, the end of June. We're just trying to do the end of June really, is $318,000 for the midline, $113,000 for the support line, and $1 million, right? So $1 million there for the top line there, and $1 million comes into view around about the 1st of June, right? 1st of June 2028. So it's kind of like the almost 2-year window, and we're expecting, I'm expecting a banana curve in this period, right? So I think we're going to blow past this green line somewhere up there. I don't know if we're going to quite touch the purple line, but certainly looking very bullish in the next sort of 6 months to 18 months, maybe 20 months there. So very cool. This is when the magic money is made, right? The magic money is made. All right, and now we got, arguably we're going to have some sort of rulemaking around the crypto in the US, and that means game on, right? Game on, and all the money will flow. All the money will flow. All right, so that is Bitcoin. Let's quickly go to Ethereum. This is the weekly chart on Ethereum here. Pretty good also. Interesting enough, we come back below 25K, so not as kind of strong as we would like, but certainly a very powerful move. We're kind of sitting at resistance here, where we had resistance back here in April and May. You can see there. But we've got our third lower high here, right, at this level. So we are pretty much sitting around that at the moment, right? We did get over the 200-week moving average, which is at $2,492. We did get above that on the peak. We got to 25.48, but we did not get to the 50, which is at 26.24 right now. So that's come down 26.24, so $2,624. But look, it's not going to take us much to get over that, guys, and I'm still feeling very good about us getting green weekly candles moving into the 15th there. It's going to be interesting to see that. Obviously, I could be wrong, so just take note of that. But it's not much to get there, right? So 7.5% to get there. Remember, we've had this big power move already. We already had this big power move here, and boom, that was almost 30%, right? So pretty big move, and even bigger when we take into account that we went all the way up to 25. So that power move was 35.6%, and we're currently holding at 24.31, which is pretty nice, sitting on the horizontal resistance from our third lower high here, and just below the 4-year moving average. And that's not far, not far at all, because that's only, even from where the price is now, that's only a 2.4% move. I mean, come on, guys, do it with a lot. Now, obviously, the argument would be profit taking to the downside, but I think we got the momentum there with the rulemaking coming in. Pretty cool. And as we say, all the catalysts for Ethereum are amazing. We've got stable coins, we've got DATs operating, we've got all these nodes operating on the offensive. We've got tokenization take off, we've got AI take off. It really is pretty exciting. Now you can see we bet the downtrend just like we did with Bitcoin, and then we had this sort of consolidation channel here, if you want to put it there, sort of there, and then we broke out for that. So pretty cool. So already had good signs back in the 20th of July that things were about to change. This was our sort of a change marker, and then boom, there we go. And so maybe we'll get another big green week here. Going to be cool. The next, after we beat out this, which is not far away, we said within 7-8%. The next sort of target is arguably maybe somewhere between 3,300 and 3,400 here. So the next target after that. So you guys know how things re-rate real fast. They certainly do. I mean, look in the bull market last year, 133 days, and look at the big candles here. 4 big green candles in a row. We had 2 big green candles and a small green candle there. And then we had 3 big green candles there for the weekly. Obviously, some of those weeks have more volatility than others, but certainly a couple of key weeks there just move up, right? We had, what did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe out of 6 out of 9. Yes, 6 out of 9, maybe 6 out of 9, 6 out of 10 weeks were just to the upside, and it didn't really come down. We're profit taking, right? So we could quite easily see maybe something a bit more modest this week coming up. Maybe if we do more modest, because we only need a modest move to get over these moves, and then maybe an aggressive one to get over the second high low here possible, right? Why do we say that? Well, because it looks like we've got a win-win situation with rule making, and that just seems hard to beat down. What is a defeater? Well, market makers, profit takers, they're always out there, but based on history, we can get these green candles, as we say. So exciting times. All right, so let's quickly zoom in on the daily quickly. We also got a golden cross coming up closer for Ethereum too, right? Better than Bitcoin. And we've got the daily moving average here, $1,919 for the 50. We've got the 200 daily moving average at $2,006. So the gap between there is closing. So we're now at about $86 or something like that. $86 gap there, and golden cross just feeds the more fuel for the fire, right? More fuel for the fire there. Now, obviously, I'm not looking at the RSIs. You've got to take that into account as well. I will put the RSIs on probably for tomorrow, but that's kind of where we are here at the moment. 4 hourly is drifting up to the upside. We've got some nice sort of consolidation action on the 4 hourly. Probably worth keeping a track on that, but certainly looking good there. And we just had that one big candle down, and that was on the charts. See that took down a lot of cryptos got tanked a lot on some of those. So it was pretty crazy watching the charts and seeing it was going green, and a big red. You know what it's like. It's pretty crazy stuff. All right, so that is Ethereum there, guys. And I guess the highlight there is the golden cross. It's getting very close for the daily, and not too far away. Much closer than the Bitcoin one, let's say. Kind of cool. Let's go to some of the bullish news around Ethereum. And this is pretty cool. So BMR here. Ethereum is number 1 in stablecoins, number 1 in DeFi, number 1 in RWAs, real world assets, number 1 in tokenized funds, number 1 in commodities, and number 1 in ETFs. 6 markets, 6 leads. This is Tom Lee's, of course, Ethereum thesis playing out in the data. Finance is moving on chain. Ethereum is already in the front, and we're still in takeoff phase, right? So some pretty cool stuff here. You can see stablecoins, Ethereum number 1, they're 147 billion. Tron number 2, 93.4 billion. DeFi TVL, Ethereum 48.6 billion. BNB chain 7 billion there. Tokenized RWAs, we've got 23.3 billion, and then BNB chain 5.7. Tokenized funds, Ethereum 18 billion, BNB at 4.8. Tokenized commodities, Ethereum 64 billion. XRP Ledger 32% of that, and then those percentages, by the way. And then tokenized ETFs, Ethereum there 52.8%, and BNB at 24.1%. So Ethereum there looking strong at the moment. So this is Ethereum versus the runner-up chain and 6 on-chain markets. Pretty huge, right? So Ethereum there dominating, and of course Tom Lee, very happy about that. Before we leave our crypto majors, let's go to Tom Lee quickly. We're going to go and I think he had a chart that I quite kind of liked. Obviously, he's talking about institutions are building on Ethereum. It's kind of cool. All right, let me scroll down here a little bit here. Massive candle, he says, 22 hours ago. Ethereum crosses 2,500 for the first time since March after surging 30% in 5 days. ETH is up another 9% today, so looking at the chart there, so it's kind of cool. All right, something else I was going to show. We showed this chart yesterday, so we may very well see something like this, right? We may very well see this. We had that down, the down bear market we've just been through. Then we had that little channel after we broke down that bearish channel, the resistance. We ended up having that channel breakout, and then we broke out of there, right? And now we're up, just around this mark here, 2,000. We're just kind of sitting in here. We might get something like this happening at different levels. Won't look quite like this, but something like that. And that's the road to 5K, right? Remember last year we did it in 133 days, guys. Are we going to do something similar like this? And now I think we've got even better stuff with this potential win-win rulemaking. Last year, of course, we had the short coverage. We had short coverage kicking off this as well. We also had obviously the DATs and the stablecoin boom last year. This year we've got the tokenization and AI, agentic AI boom, and we're only on takeoff phase for that. And stablecoin's still there, still a bit more DAT action, and of course all the Ethereum nodes on the proactive there getting adoption. So yeah, it's could happen pretty fast. Last year we had the tariff relief as well. So we've still got a little bit of things happening around that, and so far we're looking pretty good, I think. So exciting times ahead. Let's keep going. So that's some of the forward view for Ethereum, potentialities at least. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to kick it into Pulsechain and see how Pulsechain got on overnight. Obviously, Pulsechain kind of downstream from Ethereum and Bitcoin, but has been leading the way over the last sort of almost 2 months, and obviously having a bit of a pullback today, just like everything else pretty much. We're going to check out the charts. So let me just pull up Pulsechain stats as well. We know Liberty Swap is starting to roll out their products, so that's going to be a good start to the week, isn't it? We're looking forward to that. They've already started rolling out some of the things. Let's see here. We're going to go big screener. I'm going to open up Rat Pulse as well. Yeah, I hope everyone's been enjoying the short clips I've been posting. They're out there. Try to do that. 1 or 2. Going to make them slightly shorter, maybe. So yeah, that might be a bit better. So let's look at Pulsechain. Let me get to that. Let me do the full chart here. We will get to Liberty Swap as well to talk about their rollouts. We are following also Triple Dad with his rollout of VersaVault. We're looking forward to that coming as well, and so on. Let me just organize this a little bit better. I think we're looking good there, are we? Let's go to, let me just go set up the Liberty Swap first. I'll scroll right back there. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe on the way in, smash the follow as well. And of course, repost the show on X. That helps a lot. It really does. I think we might kick it on there. The Good Morning Post. I love when they do the Good Morning Post. It makes it very easy. All right, so let's just kick it off with the results for Pulsechain after such a super rally. And Pulsechain is on day 1,198, guys. 1,198, almost 1,200 days, 2 days to go. Since Pulsechain launched on the 13th of May 2023, full system stake fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May 2023, and here we are in price discovery almost 1,200 days later. While Pulse has pulled back like the rest of the market, no surprise there, down 9.3%, sitting at 4 zeros 1360. It's 4 zeros 1360, so still looking very strong, guys. Hex at the moment sitting at just below 0.4 of a penny, down 11.4%. We've got ProveX at the moment up, let's say 0.25% at 4 zeros 82. PulseX is down 9.1% at 4 zeros 12. Ink token down 13.5% at 67 cents. So ProveX is the standout today, up slightly green. But not too bad on the markets. Let's jump to the global stats. We're going to look at the gas prices. They should be pretty low, I would think, right now on the weekend, etc. And the pullback. Oh, it's still kind of high, 717,000 beats. We're at 108 pulse per Pulsex swap, 1/1500th of a penny. Looking at our second global metric, which is validators. As Pulsechain rises, this should rise over time, right? More people wanting to get in on it. It's just the way it goes, right? So we're at 47,124. I just can't remember what we had yesterday, actually, top of my head. But anyway, we're slowly moving up. Let's look at our third stat, which is our biggest one, right? The bridge. And of course, the more stuff coming over, the more stuff that could be used to buy up Pulsechain assets, right? So it's a key health measure there on the chain. And we're sitting at 69.17. So we're still up, about 21.5 mil or something like that from the bottom. 47, 42 or something was 47.4, 47,420,000, I think was the low. So still up, maybe 21.5 million or so. We're up 0.5% almost for the day. 8.5% for the week and 40% for the 30 days. We've got another positive net flow day, so that's really cool. Let's give that a clap because that's great to see. So the daily inflow, 857,000. The daily outflow, 623,000. Net flow is 233, building on yesterday, which was a net flow as well. Before that, we had a couple of days, slight net outflows. Before that, we had a lot of inflows, right? So it's been a really good time over the last 30 days, up 40% on the TVL. DAI coming in, we have, this is taken number one. So normally DAI is not number one here, but it's the number one today. $227,000 a DAI in and $38,000 out. So, what's that? 190,000 DAI net. Wrapped ETH 91 in, 121 out. So we lost about 30 DAI on the way out. 30 ETH on the way out. USDC 173, 130 out. So we're up about $47,000 in USDC. USD Tether 113,000 in. And we don't actually have the number here on the top five, so pretty positive on the USD Tether as well. Interesting that there's quite a decent amount of US Tether coming in there. But otherwise net, obviously Pulsechain coming in and out, of course, also been pretty big numbers. We had more Pulse going out over the bridge, interesting enough, and here we are at 233. I don't know whether it's going to wallets or going to the LP pools on ETH chain or what that's doing, but that's where we are. Those are the numbers. So actually still pretty good, right? Still pretty good. Let's zoom in on the Pulsechain chart, and we're going to get rid of the RSIs. We're on the hourly chart here. I just like to show that I'm going to get rid of the overlays. And here we are just chugging along there. So we obviously had our retrace here, 2 waves down. These are the hourly candles. So hourly candles there. So let me just do the math there. We got up all the way up, guys, to 1546. Awesome, eh? Awesome, man. It's awesome. We haven't got to our 1700 yet. We haven't got to 1700 yet, but this might be a good thing for the 1700. We're down 7.4% on that first little wave over a couple 4 hours. And then on our second wave, we ended up coming down 13.3%. So, decent day down, but, we've been up a lot, and that's over 11 hours. So just under half a day, down 13% there. It looks like we have got some nice consolidation here on the hourly. What's that, about 8-9 hours now? And we're sitting at 40.36, and we've got a slight uptrend there, very slight. Now, looking at the 4 hours, we're below the moving averages on the hourly, but we don't really care too much about that generally. But let's say we've got the 4 hour. We're sitting right on the 4 hour 21 moving average. That's really key. So we can hold that line. Very cool, right? This is kind of the trader's view 3 week moving average there for the not 3 week. Let me start again. The 21 4 hour moving average, and we're sitting right on at the moment. So that'd be a very key mark to hold. And we're obviously still trying to get up and target 1700, right? We're still trying to get up to 1700 here, which is around this mark here. All right, so let's see how that goes on the daily. Let's look at the daily now. The daily at the moment, we are on, let's see here. The daily, we've got the 21 daily moving average. So the last 3 weeks is at 1100. We're at 1361. So we're still looking pretty good. Let me auto log that. That's the auto log there. So not bad, not bad. And let's see what we are from the bottom. Bottom is 50400. Let's go. We got as high as 184% move in 40 days. That's a 2.9x, let's say, just round it to the upside. And we're still up 150%, so a 2.5x in 41 days on Pulse. So still looking pretty good there. On the daily, we're above all the moving averages, the 21 week daily moving average, the 200 daily moving average, which is currently sitting at 10,000, and then the 50 daily moving average at 90,200. So, we've got 2 really cool averages. We've got a bullish cross here too with the 21 over the 200. Looking pretty good there. Let's quickly go back to the 4 hour, and then we're going to come back to the weekly. But we're going to have a look at the RSI. RSI has cooled off here on the 4 hour at 53, so we've got good room to move to the upside. We've seen bounces around that level many times, so it's boding well. And so this key line here around this 21 4 hour moving average at 1365 is pretty key for us. So the stochastic has cooled off as well on the 4 hour, so we've got good room to run there too. So looking good on the short term for a move higher if we hold on to this level. Daily, we've got the RSI still elevated on the daily, just above 70, and the stochastic there coming down a little bit there, but the 4 hour giving us a bit of idea we could trade up here quite hot, and we're above all the moving averages, and we've got a nice little bullish cross there on the 21 over the 200. Finally, moving to the weekly, we're going to get rid of the RSIs quickly, but you can see the moving averages here. The 21 weekly average is at 90,100. We are currently we tapped on, look at that, guys, The tap of the move on the weekly, we did tap the 50 weekly moving average at 1534, and we got to 1545, right? So that's pretty hilarious as well. So kind of cool. We've got more work to do. We want to get over the 1740 probably. So it's a key line there for us. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But the RSI on the weekly, plenty of room. Elevated at 62, not fully. Elevated, I'd say, is a bit higher, but certainly moving up 62. Plenty of room to move on the weekly. Hot on the stochastic, but I think we've got so much room on the weekly RSI. I think we're looking good to continue to move higher and certainly try to take out that 1700 mark. Very important line there. And as you guys know, if we add in my thesis here, we'll continue on with the charts. If we add on the thesis, then I'm going to get rid of the Fibonacci actually. If we add on the thesis there, then we want to get to the 1700 mark to take out another lower high, right? As we're coming down this bear market for 11 months, we had these lower highs, and we've already taken out 1200. We've already taken out 8200 with 5082. And we're taking out 1200. I'd love to take out 1700, and I think we're on after that game on for the next wave and beating that mega downtrend, right? That's the that mega downtrend we've had for over 3 years, that big yellow line there. There we go. Now, the whole argument is that we do this blue line. This is just illustrative of the direction. We come up to 1700, come back and test either 1200, or we come back and test 1000, right? So depending on the profit taking that's going to be made. But we're coming off low liquidity. That's more difficult for larger players to exit, and the percentages, while they're very handsome, they're still modest relative to the most of the market. Most of the market probably expecting more than a 2x. Maybe they're after 5x or 10x. You know what I mean? Like, you've got different people holding on at different times. And so if we can bounce off 1000 or 1200, this shows 1200. And then up to the right, then once we're over the 1700, we've got escape velocity, right? That last part of the blue line there, escape velocity. And then that sets us up for the big mega uptrend, the green line, rather than this horrible yellow line that people have been complaining about, fairly enough over the time. And so I know people were buying at the bottom here. So there's a lot of diamond hand believers, and so they've it's paid off for them finally to pull out the bottom there. Now, this orange box down here was the first clue that we were getting close to the bottom, and we talked about that in the past. I won't go through all that, but we're getting there, guys. Getting there. Woohoo! Ending the first wave. For me, the end of the first wave was 1200, and now we're beginning kind of the second wave, and that second wave should help us get escape velocity. That's my thesis. So far, so good, and we've certainly had tailwinds from the rest of the market, although Pulsechain was moving already. So kind of cool. That is Pulsechain, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that. All right, so let's go into Pulsechain markets. Am I on the right channel? Yeah, I am too. So obviously the markets here. Look, we've got a little retrace after this huge run that we just went through. But look at the volumes again. Yesterday we had $17 million, which is fantastic. Now we've still got good volumes even on a weekend, even on a bit of a retrace, 10.5 mil. So that's good news, guys. More fees for the DEXs and DEX aggregators, more fees for the LP providers, and this is all kind of positive flywheel stuff in some ways. We've only got a few green coins. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's go to Pulsex at the moment. Our number one DEX by volume. It is a V2 DEX, $8.2 million at the moment. 9mm is a V3 DEX, $1.2 million. SwitchX is a V4 DEX, 564K. And of course, that went over almost $1 million yesterday, wasn't it? So SwitchX, they're doing some impressive numbers. Excuse me, we've got hiccups there. Liberty Swap, 344,000, still holding up in a good zone. 9-inch there is at 70K. Uniswap there is at 63K, and for Vesta, our latest V3 DEX is at 5,000, coming down. It's come down a lot, isn't it, from 40 to 60, back down to 5. But we'll keep a lookout for that. We'll see what happens there. But moving back, most of the volume here on Liberty Swap, we're going to go to top 4 here. Most of the volume on Liberty Swap is Wrapped ETH, Peacock, PDI, Pulsex, those sort of things. And then SwitchX, most of the volume is Pulse, Wrapped ETH, USDC, Switch, and Richard Cause. And then 9mm. Most of the stuff is Richard Cause, 9mm, and then Richard Cause, and then a bit of Wrapped Bitcoin there as well, and a bit of Mafia coin. Pulsex, most of the volume is Richard Cause all the way down. We've got a few new coins there and P Tiger as well. So let's have a look at the overall performance in the top 100. So not financial advice, do your own due diligence. We've got Gains. Hex Dog has been around for over a year. Someone's 31K of volume. Someone's pumped that out of nowhere. So there we go. Gains, look at that. Welcome to crypto, guys. Welcome to crypto. Not financial advice, but someone pumped it there as well. So there we go. What else can we say? It's up 91% today. All right, Zelda, been around for over 9 months here. Tiger Crypto Dog, I don't know, Zelda. But that's up, 63K volume on 14K liquidity. Someone pumped that too. Let's have a quick look. Not financial advice in any of these, right? So remember that. Do your own due diligence. This is all, fly and apply stuff, not generally what we suggest. What else? We've got PMX 500. No volume on there, so we'll ignore that. P Tiger has been performing really well, hasn't it? Still in the green today, or not quite 1%, but 8400% there. So I've got P Tiger been one of the big earners, right? Look at that. So pretty impressive. Let's see what it's up at the moment from the move 4 weeks ago. Still up 2,245%. So 23.5x on P Tiger. And doesn't seem like any of the whales have sold on that yet. So yeah, a little bit of profit taking, I think, yesterday. Let's have a look at yesterday's chart. Yeah, actually not too bad, actually. So still holding up there. There was a little bit of selling here. But there we go. It's at the 7800th of a penny, heading towards 1 cent. I don't know, going to face a seller at 1 cent. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? There's P Tiger there. P Tiger, a crypto god, of course, an ex-influencer in the space there. Then we get into ProofX. One of the peers, at least in the DAI, is flat green, and everything else is in the red, right? Everything else is in the red. So on. Now let's just go back to Pulsechain stats to see what. Just to remind myself what Pulse was. Yeah, Pulse was down 9.5%. So anything doing better than that. So what's 9.5? Let's see. So we got just over 50% of the top 100 peers are doing better than Pulse. That's pretty much it. So it's kind of interesting number, right? Let's see. Let's go through some of these, pick off some few of these. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here, actually. Patias at the moment, top disaggregated down 9%. Liquid Loans been on a bit of a run recently, down 9.7%, so slightly down versus Pulse. Investor coming down, also pretty similar. Vouch token, our top validator, public validator, down 10%, slightly down against Pulse. Hex, of course, just below 0.4 of a penny. We'll have a quick look at Hex, shall we? Let's go to the biggest Pulse peer there, number 70 on the top 100. Number 70 on the top 100. You're live. What's that old? What was the old like 80s, 90s show from America on the radio show? I've just forgotten that. Let me know in the chat if you guys remember. Everyone used to listen to it. It was the like Top of the Pops or something. It was pretty cool. All right, so let's have a look here. So we've got the chart here on the daily. You can see we've come down from we've come up from 0.000 8,500. We came all the way up in the last 2 days. We got to 4,600th of a penny essentially 3 days ago. So on the 21st of August, pretty awesome. And we're just down at the moment at just below 0.4 of a penny. Got a lot of support at 3,800 here. We've bounced off that several days in a row. 3,800 of a penny, looking good there for Hex. We've got the 61.8 Fibonacci, which is a way of looking at a forward price potentiality at just below 0.7 of a penny, so 6,900th. We haven't got to that yet, but this Fibonacci extension is still holding up, I think. Where did I get it starting from, actually? I'm not even sure. Must be further down, was it? Yeah, further down from the move. So I got the big bottom of Hex here down at 6,600. So that's just a correction from I was doing a higher number here, but actually the bottom here of Hex was down at 6,600. 6,600, and we're now at 0.00 the 4,000 for 0.4 of a penny. That's a way of doing it. You almost get a stutter on stream sometimes when you try to talk about all this. Normally I do pretty well, but you get taken down a few pegs, as it were. But look at that. I mean, we look at the move to 4,500th of a penny or 4,600 a penny. That's 590% in 74 days. So Hex has basically done a 7x in that time frame, or close to 600%. Pretty awesome. So welcome. First wave for Hex. Bring it on. The next wave. Everyone knows. So that is kind of cool. We've got the 21 daily moving average at just under 31/100th of a penny, providing some really good support there. That'll be a pretty key line of support. You can see we had some horizontal resistance there with the closes at least, and there on the moving average, kind of cool. All right, let's look at the RSI. Boom. All right, so the RSI is elevated, still 66, but room to move to the upside. Stochastic coming down a little bit there. So let's see what room we've got to move on the 4 hour. 4 hours come back right down to 50, and the stochastics right down as well. So a nice little holding here above 38, and that gives us a good room to move to the upside there, guys. Very cool, and it'd be nice to see that move over the 21 4-hour moving average. Looking on the weekly, on the old chain now, I'll get rid of the overlays, but on the weekly there, we got the weekly moving average, 21 weekly moving average at 15 hundredths of a penny, but we're way up here. So the 50 moving average is at 3/10 of a penny, so that supports that daily move as well. So we've got lots of good juncture there, over 3/10 of a penny, with 38 hundredths of a penny as a short-term support, and so far it seems to be holding with a good room on the 4 hours, and we are elevated on the hex weekly. Just take note of that. So we are coming up to that key resistance line. But yeah, so far so good. And stochastics there elevated, but we've still got room to move on the weekly. Obviously, we can take a much longer time frame on Pulsechain because Pulsechain was down for 11 months and we've been down for 3 years. So the monthly RSI is at 45, certainly hotter than Pulse that I think that we saw. And of course here, the stochastics just coming up, guys. So, we're expecting a lot of, second, third, fourth waves for X. Parabolics to the upside over time, obviously not in the one straight line, but going to get there. So that is a Pulsechain. Let's go out of there. Sorry, that's Hex, I should say. My bad. That's Hex, and they're currently, ranging number 70 all the way down to number 76 on the pairs there. Peacock at the moment sitting at 1.4 cents. Got to 1.65 was it yesterday? It's lower than Pulse here, so 9.5 down. So what's that? 3-4% down below Pulse. Has been shedding its ratio against Pulse, and with the buy and burn's been turned off. Right, we're waiting for that 10x buy and burn, but they just turned off the buy and burn. I don't know. It's a little bit cheeky, but they'll get there in the end, I'm sure. We'll give them some slack there. Let's look here. So this is talking about Liberty Swap. That is. They got $14,000 now in the buy and burn, 2 wallets that they gave us. So I am tracking it on another browser. So yeah, that $13,000 almost in Pulse. Oh, actually more. Actually, maybe 3,300, maybe $13,400 in Pulse, and then we got about $600 in Peacock almost. So yeah, $14,000 there. Let's say 13.5 net, taking out the Peacock. So 13,500 there. That's that's almost about enough to buy and burn 1 million Peacock, isn't it, at the moment? So they want to get to try and burn a million Peacock a day. And so they've got a number of heavyweight protocols to launch, and we're looking out for those, right, for Liberty Swap, and just have to be patient as they roll them out. They're just trying to do it all in the right order and make sure it's all safe and secure and all that, which is obviously a priority. All right, so that's pretty much Instinct token down, almost 50%. So on down day, interesting enough, we got 9mm, our second biggest DEX, which has really been enjoying the volumes, but the market is smacking it down. I don't know. I think this is going to move at some stage. Look at that big sell-off there. So big nervous event from the correction we had overnight. So yeah, got a big volume move out there. Was that $40,000? Pretty hefty, right? Liquidity 89. So that was definitely smacked down there. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. You can sort of see all that action there. Look at that, bam, bam, down it came. Someone tried to buy it up cheaper, which is probably a good move, but it's come down below that, so it's even cheaper now to enter. Depends on the amount of liquidity you're moving. Someone dropped something like maybe 6K on it, and of course they pay out their profits every month, right? And the volumes have gone up a lot, so it's just something we'll keep a lookout for. That DEXs typically get re-rated, especially 9mm over time, and it's still doing over $1 million of volume. So that is the markets, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We covered Pulse and Hex. Let me know your thoughts on that, of course. Those are just more my opinions. We're looking at the charts, trying to do our best we can with them, and we're only using I use up to 6 different measures at some stages to look at it, but there's lots of great indicators out there. All right, so that's cool. Let's look here. So we got this from Liberty Swap. This is the biggest project team building out on Pulsechain. We have got other great teams like Switch and Internet Money and Petius and many others that are doing great stuff. Kairos from Emmett Farm does great stuff. Tree DeFi team. There's lots of great builder teams on the chain, Nexian, etc. I mean, you can go. There's a good list there. But here we are with LilySwap. They're bringing out the Kraken ecosystem. Good morning, Pulsechain friends, they say. Our team is excited to announce that we have successfully deployed and thoroughly tested the two-way bridge between Say Network and Pulsechain. So some people might say that different. Maybe if you're in America, you might say that's different. Say Network there. USDC to Pulsechain assets are now live. So it's cool. We can bring on all the bridges, right? There's no friction, no way to stop people. People got no excuse. They can come from that chain. So it is a layer one focused on payments, high frequency trading, and institutional adoption. This integration is expected to bring more liquidity and additional payment rails to Pulsechain. So there we go. Pretty cool. And got a few little clips of it, I think, on that one. Yeah, there we go. USDC, Say Chain, I guess Pulsechain, $100 example. Back and forth, two-way, right? Two-way. So very cool stuff there. All right, let's keep going. What else we got there? 11 hours ago. So that was about 12 hours ago. Some cool updates are coming within the next 24 hours. This 24 hours thing is getting, they keep saying 24 hours, but we have so many products and new features are ready to ship, but we're rolling them out gradually to better control risk and maintain security. Slow and steady, build, test, secure, and then ship. This is what real lock-in looks like. So there's nothing we disagree with there. Let's keep going. Let's 11 hours ago. 9 hours ago, they posted this. The sandwich shop is busy bot today, grabbing a quick lunch and back to the work through the weekend. The next 24 to 48 hours this time. It will be interesting. I have a feeling the bull is so strong that even the god of inverse TradeFi, Jim Cramer, can't shake us. Now, he was obviously saying sell Bitcoin after Michael Saylor sold some Bitcoin, and now apparently he's saying buy Bitcoin. So that's Jim Cramer for you. Crazy guy. 9 hours ago, that's right, we're making Cash App an easier deposit option on ZKX Wallet. ZKX Wallet, of course, the LilySwap wallet. It's been growing by leaps and bounds, and they're going to make Cash App there a way of doing that. So, Cash App, fiat to crypto, create and back. Go from fiat to Pulsechain assets in a little as a minute. So we're really taking away all the friction and resistance to fiat to Pulsechain directly. Wasn't that awesome? So really great stuff happening there. Only a 0.3% fee. We need to hold ETH, Pulse, and any gas token. Gas is covered, of course. They moved their whole system to gasless, and they pretty much the possibilities for new trading tools unlimited. Just need to be creative to dare. Yeah, so some good stuff happening here. All right, so a lot of what happened there? What happened? So got quite a few announcements. We did have the new stablecoin though for Say Chain. And that's pretty much it at the moment. So we've got a lot of rollouts we're expecting from these guys in the next 24, 48 hours. We'll just be patient and let them drop them as they are able to. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty much it on that one. Let's quickly go to Richard Hart. Now, I won't go to VersaVault from Triple Dad because they're doing final testing this week, so we'll catch up on that, and we'll try and get Triple Dad on the show. That's going to be the number 6. That's 6th liquidity fork on Pulsechain. It's got a few different features, so we'll hopefully catch up on that too. Richard Hart's 21st. This was it was about 2 days ago now, but Hex is up 7x in price in the last couple of months. So Richard there knowing when to repost that. Very cool. All right, so good stuff there happening in the old community. All right, so we're up to almost an hour in the live stream. I think we're going to finish it off there. So at the moment, what are the key highlights? Well, Bitcoin's after that 22% rally is holding at 77,300 approximately, at least when we were covering it. And it pumped just after my live stream 2 days ago at 79,500. So it's looking really good. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple of good weeks leading into the 15th September because it does look like we're in a win-win situation. A big win would be the Clarity Act getting through on the 15th September. A moderate win would be the SEC and CFTC regulating rulemaking regardless within their legal framework at the moment, and that would mean it's game on. So we either get a big win or a great win or something like that. So you get the idea, which means we can't lose, and that means innovation and adoption and everything else rolls out on even more on the into America. And of course, all the big money from the sidelines comes in even more than it has in a bigger way. So yeah, exciting times happening there. Yeah, the only thing I can't see them doing is registrations. Maybe they can. I don't know. We'll see what they come up with, and we'll see whether either Clarity Act or that rulemaking from the regulators comes in regardless, right? Kind of cool. What else? The only real headwinds we've got at the moment is oil. Still a little bit of the Strait of Hormuz stuff. So yeah, we've got. I did say a week ago they were doing about 40 now, 20 million barrels. Were getting through. I think they've had probably a bit tougher time with the ships getting through, but the blockade's still in place quite strongly. The Iranian economy is definitely increasingly in economic trouble. Inflation rearing, not being able to pay soldiers, all that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of politics going on there, so that's a big topic just by itself. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we've got the DTCC coming in October after the 15th of September clarity, and that's hyper bullish for Ethereum and crypto. And then we've got the midterms in November, so we'll see how that plays out as well. Obviously, typically economics is what normally drives a lot of voting, so we'll see whether that message has got through at all much as well. So yeah, I think we got a lot of tailwinds, a few headwinds, and let's see how we ride those through. And we're also seeing the Fed there get a bit more dovish. We'll watch out for that inflation number towards the end of this week. Hopefully, it's equal to or better than the rates we've seen so far with the CPI, and that would all be tailwinds rather than headwinds. A bigger number would be more of a headwind, so that could cause a retrace in the markets, even despite everything else. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Diamond Hand with the thumbs up, big shout outs, and also Bitcoin Hex by RH, my bros. Good morning. See the Ferds. Hey, great to see you, Ferds. Okay, that's it. I think we're going to round it up. It is the weekend. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day live show before the DATs come out with their weekly updates for Monday, US time. There'll be Tuesday, my time, for my show covering those. What have they done? What has Strategy done? What has Strive done? We know Strive's already buying Bitcoin now. And also that's a positive potential tailwind next week. And then finally, we've also got Bitmine as well. Their cash is down to like 74K. I don't think the MNAV has been over 1. Maybe if it has, it's probably maybe a few hours. But generally, it's been down at like 92 up to 96, something like that. So that's a 0.92 that is. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Lots of stuff in store, guys. It's going to be a good second half of the year, guys. I'm pretty happy about it. It's going to be really good. Pulsechain, Animal and House there. Hello. Hello to you as well. But I'm about to end the show. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the likes, and I'll catch you again for tomorrow. You guys know the Crypto Night Show, the largest Pulsechain influencer covering all the markets as well as Pulsechain every day there, and most comprehensive coverage. If you love it, spread the word and share the show around. And smash the follows, and I'll catch you again every day moving forward, unless I take a day off or something. but we'll see. At the moment, it's looking a lot of fun. What's the last thing I was going to say? Yeah, Monster Thread's coming out tomorrow, guys. Monster Thread number 68. It is an official publication of the Crypto Night Show. I know that MBS Crypto, the editor-in-chief of that and the promotional lead of the Crypto Night Show, will be working on that pretty hardcore. So we look forward to that coming out. 68 weeks of the hottest news. It just keeps coming out week after week, and of course, it's exciting. Lots of cool DeFi, lots of cool people, activities. It's a lot of fun. And now the charts have been booming. It's very, very cool. All right, take care. I'll catch you on the next one. And bye for now. I'm just going to go change and fly away as usual. All right, bye for now.